Hello and welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Cindy. On December 27th, President İlham Aliyev got acquainted with the conditions created in the new building of the state news agency of Azerbaijan, Azertaj.
Atatürk Avenue 70. From now on, the Azerbaijan State News Agency Azertaj will continue to work at this address. The agency, which published the first news on March 2, 1920, was able to cover the events taking place in the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic, the work of the government which lasted for only 58 days. And in the Soviet period, depending on the socio-political events, the news agency experienced various ups and downs of fate and was renamed 7 times. Nationwide leader Heydar Aliyev treated Azertaj with special care in providing information support to state policy. By a decree signed by him on March 3, 1995, on the reorganization of the agency was assigned the status of a state information body and a budget was allocated. Access to the international information space is set as one of the priority tasks. This strategic line has been successfully continued during the presidency of Ilham Aliyev. Azerbaijan, whose opportunities to enter the foreign information space in the first years of independence were equated to 0, today, represented by Azertaj, Azerbaijan is one of the 13 members of the World Council of News Agencies who have the right to vote. To respond adequately to new challenges in the information space, provision of modern technology and equipment is of great importance. The new building is equipped with newsrooms that meet international standards, studios equipped with multimedia equipment. In recent years, Azertaj has signed cooperation agreements with nearly 54 news agencies and is exchanging information with nearly 150 agencies. Among them are TASS, Sinhua, Anadolu, IRNA, ANSA, and other influential news agencies. Today, the agency publishes news in 8 languages: Azerbaijani, Russian, English, German, French, Arabic, Chinese, and Spanish, and also posts video news in 5 languages. There are 21 Azertaj correspondent offices in foreign countries. Azertaj, covering the history of Azerbaijan since the 20th year of the last century, is now writing a chronicle of the 21st century. The comprehensive conditions created in the new building instill confidence that the agency will use all its creative and technical resources to continue to disseminate information about the country's success, including large-scale reconstruction and creative work in the liberated territories in an even wider geographic area. Good luck.
President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, received congratulations on the occasion of his 60th anniversary. President of the State of Israel, Isaac Herzog, and President of the Kyrgyz Republic, Sadir Japarov, congratulated President Ilham Aliyev on this occasion and wished him robust health and happiness. On December 26, Vesti Nedeli program of Russia 1 channel of Russia aired a dispatch about President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, and Azerbaijan.
Saying that President Ilham Aliyev marked his 60th anniversary this year and was heading the country for 18 years, presenter Dmitry Kiselev added that Azerbaijan attained significant achievements in both economic and social fields. Underlining that Ilham Aliyev gained reputation on the international arena and the specifics of his relations with President Putin would that both keep their words, Dmitry Kiselev added that President Ilham Aliyev celebrated his anniversary in Shusha, which was declared as the cultural capital of Azerbaijan by his executive order. There were no solemn events and the president briefly thanked everybody for the congratulations via TV and visited the mosque. Touching on the theme of the dispatch, Russian language in Azerbaijan, the presenter added that Azerbaijan was doing well in terms of the advocacy of the Russian language according to the research conducted by the Institute of Russian Language named after Pushkin and was ahead of other South Caucasian republics. The old city full of flavor of battering waves, baked bread and tea with thyme. This is how it is here. These tourists have to stop here at the cobblestone pavement, slip down and take a commemorative picture, because this was a beautiful Soviet film where everything was good and comfy. Here it is difficult to find a person of middle age and older who does not speak Russian. In the capital, not being able to speak Russian is generally considered a bad manner. Publications of Russian classic writers and modern literature are sold in several stores in Baku. Almost the entire center of Baku is reflected in the polished shop windows of the House of Russian Books, and in fact, it is very symbolic. The House of Russian Books is not only a bookstore, it's also a cultural center for lovers of the Russian language. Autograph sessions, master classes at the House of Russian Books are held regularly. Primary school pupils came to listen to the famous writer. The acquaintance with the Russian language begins, as it should be, with a fairy tale. In secondary schools, where the language of administration is Russian, the competition for entrance into school can be compared with those of universities. The most famous and most prestigious school is school number 6. President Ilham graduated from the school. Parents who do not speak Russian, they also want to enroll their kids in the schools where the language of administration is Russian because they failed to learn Russian and at least wanted their children to master Russian. In the field of higher education, the situation is similar. Russian is trending, also thanks to the teachers from Moscow. Branches of prestigious Moscow universities have been opened with the support of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation. Every scientist, every student wants to join Moscow University. The buildings are only 12 years old, but during this time they managed to achieve the main thing. The spirit of Moscow State University has settled in these corridors. You can't confuse it with anything. Thanks to the efforts of the rector, it was brought along with invaluable knowledge. Branch library, backbones of books with the names of world-famous authors, world-famous scientists. Starting point is here, in this room. The rarest edition dating back to the end of the century before the last century, in the beginning of the last century, Alexander Sergeyevich Pushkin in 4 volumes, 1855, St. Petersburg. And here are the rare printed editions of Dawn of the East, April 1870. And all this is at the branch of Moscow State University in Baku. Can you imagine how important this is? What a mixture of cultures. Members of faculty from Moscow work on a rotational basis. Shifts are frequent, but this does not affect the education program in any way. After all, the approach is university-based and classical. Students only benefit from this. They have a unique opportunity to gain knowledge literally from the entire faculty of the Russian Moscow State University. This promotes relations between the countries, it builds a reliable framework for mutual cooperation and partnership between states, and in general, it allows you to establish contacts between ordinary people. The branch of Sechenov Medical University is located in the center of Baku. Rector, professor of medicine and practicing surgeon oncologist Aziz Aliyev knows what to demand from every student. I always tell my students because a doctor is not dependent. He is a surgeon, a therapist, a radiologist. He must study forever because medicine is developing so rapidly. The scheme is the same as in the branch of Moscow State University. Faculty members who are from Moscow work in shifts. The students we saw at the lecture listen literally to every word. Students who are interested and sometimes literally, figuratively speaking, throw a lot of questions in order to seek out the truths. Teachers devote their leisure time to tourism. There's no shortage of sightseeing in Azerbaijan. These vineyards are several years old, and they're already making fashionable organic wine, for which merchants from all over the world have stood in line. We drive along the road to one of the most interesting places in Azerbaijan, the village of Ivanovka. From time immemorial, Russians, Molokhans, spiritual Christians who did not recognize icons and crosses have lived here, but their main book is the same, Bible. The only collective farm in the entire post-Soviet space operates in Ivanovka. The decision to keep the name and not change the management principle was made even during the reign of Heydar Aliyev. We are Russians, our face is Molokhan, but all people are conscientious about their work. Andrei is a hereditary cattleman. He took over the profession from his father. He does not rush to the capital. We are accustomed to cattle. We are with cattle all our lives. When we were born, we already have cattle. Everybody has cattle at home, so animal husbandry is in our blood. Food products are only local and organic. There is enough bread, however, as well as spectacles. In Soviet times, any collective farm had to have its own club, especially one like this one with 2,700 inhabitants. But what you see now is not a club, it's a palace of culture. This is only a part of the Ivanovka choir. Before the new year, most of the performers left to visit their friends and relatives, Azerbaijanis and Russians alike. That as everyone lives together, they understand that for us citizens of Azerbaijan, this country is one big common home. The history of the painting of this temple will amaze anyone. The Muslim artist by birth converted to Christianity and devoted the rest of his years to the design of the Orthodox Church. He passed away before he had time to finish his work. Friends and relatives continued it. It was important for him that this work was completed. He left a huge number of manuscripts and sketches. Baku, despite tough COVID-related restrictions, is not discouraged. Exhibitions are held in galleries and cultural centers. Azerbaijan is not only multinational, it's also multicultural. An exhibition of a contemporary Brazilian artist is being held at the Heydar Aliyev Center today. In cafes and restaurants, dishes are amazing in taste and variety. Azerbaijan has always situated on the main logistic route of the Middle Ages on the Silk Road. Accordingly, it absorbed a lot of products from all over the world. In the old town, if you really want to, you can even go to visit complete strangers, and in 5 minutes, you can feel absolutely home here.
In the near future, Azerbaijan will file another lawsuit against Armenia in the International Court. In the meantime, our country will file an appeal to the International Court in regards to the unlawful exploitation of our resources. Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov stated this at the press conference on the results of the year. It was also emphasized that Azerbaijan once again urges Armenian side to establish a working group on border delimitation and start demarcation works. At the press conference dedicated to the results of 2021, held at the Foreign Ministry, information was given on Azerbaijan's diplomatic relations in the period after the Patriotic War, cooperation with international organizations, restoration of communications in the territories liberated from the occupation, and the work done in this direction. Tasks and priorities for the upcoming year, 2022, were also revealed. Foreign Affairs Minister Ceyhun Bayramov noted that Azerbaijan, as always, urges the Armenian side to establish a working group on border delimitation and start demarcation works. Commenting on the biased statements of French officials, Ceyhun Bayramov said that Azerbaijan had repeatedly told the other side that this was unacceptable. The press conference noted the positive impact of the creation of a 3+3 platform in the region on the development of interstate relations. It was also noted that negotiations are underway between Azerbaijan and the European Union to sign a new agreement made of 4 sections. The agreement covers political security, trade, economic and other topics. All work on this issue will be completed next year. At the same time, Azerbaijan will soon file another lawsuit against Armenia in the International Court. This is due to the damage caused to the nature of Azerbaijan as a result of violation of the Environmental Convention. In parallel, an appeal will be made to the International Court within the framework of the relevant conventions on the illegal use of Azerbaijan's natural resources. In accordance with historical Shusha Declaration, we stand by Azerbaijan at every step. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu said at the conference on finals of Turkey's foreign policy for 2021. The minister also touched upon the steps taken to normalize relations with Armenia.
Both sides have already appointed their own special representatives. As far as we know, the first meeting at the request of Armenia will be held in Moscow. After that, we will give preference to face-to-face negotiations to discuss charter flights and other issues. Mutual visits are therefore necessary to define a roadmap to see what steps should be taken to normalize relations. We hope and wish that Armenia will in fact act in accordance with the messages it transmits, which are acceptable to all 3 parties, and then we can take constructive steps for peace in the region.
Azerbaijani servicemen returned to the motherland after successfully completing regular commander training courses conducted in the city of Sparta of the fraternal country within the framework of an agreement on cooperation in the field of military education signed between Azerbaijan and Turkey. According to the Defense Ministry, the main purpose of the participation of Azerbaijani servicemen in relevant exercises within the existing military cooperation between the 2 fraternal countries is to further improve the combat capability of the operations commando military units and the professionalism of personnel, the ministry said. 27 more mines were discovered in the liberated territories. ANAMA disseminated a weekly report. From 20th to 25th of December, 2 anti-personnel, 25 anti-tank mines and 112 unexploded ordnances were found and neutralized during the demining operations conducted on the territories of Terter, Agdam, Fizuli, Shusha, Gubadli, Cebrail and Zengilan regions. 97 hectares were cleaned from mines and exploded ordnances. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.